Hey, what's up? I'm Myles Kennedy from Alter Bridge, and you're watching 60 Minutes Berlin. Yeah, well, I think it was December. It was December or January, and we basically reconvened to start talking about writing this record. And as far as the concept, it wasn't born at that point. But Mark and I got together starting in January and started basically flushing through the ideas that we had, and we spent about 2 weeks, I think, working on that, and then brought in our drummer Scott and our bass player Brian, and then just started getting the arrangements together, and now fast forward, and here we are, and now we're talking about the record. It's been pretty quick process. No. It was funny. I heard that too. There was a lot of speculation. Are they going to keep, going on and making music? And we were all like, why wouldn't we? But people, I think people kind of run with rumors, and it kind of shows you human nature, just how rumors start and then turn into these, it's like a snowball. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And before you know it, it's just kind of overruns the truth. Well, we did a fair amount of what's called pre-production. I think we did that for about 3 weeks. We actually did it in the studio. We did it at our producer Elvis's place that he works out of in Orlando. So, through that process, what you do is you get the arrangements set. You decide which songs are going to make the cut, and so we felt pretty strong after 3 weeks, and then the little red light comes on. You press record, and I'm trying to remember exactly how long it took. Once we started, you track the drums first, and then I think Mark tracked his guitars, then Brian did bass, and then I came in and did my guitars and vocals. So it was probably, I want to say two months of actual recording, and yeah, it was fun. A lot of work. Oh, I love it. Oh yeah, I love the studio, man. It's just like, it's just something about if you're in the studio with people you enjoy working with, it's great because you're basically documenting the song forever. And so when you come to the point where it's really starting to take shape and you feel like you're onto something, it's beautiful. You get the goosebumps and you're like, this is why I do this. It's great. Yeah, I think that's a very good analogy, actually. Generally you try to, the way I look at it is the chord progression, the melody, the lyric, the skeleton of the song is crucial. You've got to spend time coming up with that and make sure that the foundation is very strong, because then once you start adding the skin, as you say, and let's say you have a bad skeleton, no matter how great the skin is, it's still going to be ugly at the end of the day. So it's really important to set that foundation up, and Mark and I are very aware of that and work very hard before we come in and bring stuff to the band, that it's going to be solid once the whole thing is put together. On this record, it was usually I'd be in there. I don't know how long the rest of the guys would be in, but I generally would. It'd be about 10, 11 hours a day. And some of that's because when you're playing guitar and singing, it's like you're basically doing double duty, so it's a lot more work. I would basically stay at Mark's place, and it was like nearly an hour drive to the studio, so I'd drive in every day and then get to work and then drive back late at night, and it was fun though, because Elvis is, I basically just be locked away with Elvis, our producer, and Jeff, the engineer, and Kevin, the assistant, you know, we'd just be just having a blast making music, and it's great, man. I love it. Actually, it was interesting on this because once we started recording, I don't believe I did have time to go home. I did take 2 weeks to go do a show in South Africa with the Kings of Chaos, and so my wife met me there, and that was a blast because it was our 10-year anniversary, and we celebrated it down there. But Selena, my wife, was really understanding, because she knows that when I start in with the recording process, that I tend to stay pretty focused. And so she's just like, stay down there and work and get it done, and I'll see you in South Africa. I think one of the things I really like about this record is it's very there's a spontaneous vibe to it, because we didn't overthink it. There wasn't time to overthink it. And I think that can really stifle the creative process if you just take an idea and rework it and beat it into the ground, and then by the time you finally document it and listen to it forever, it's kind of stale. You know, once in a while it'll work. Once in a while you'll end up getting lucky, but overall, as the years go on, the more we do this, we come to realize that keep it, make it quick. And keep that vibe, that initial spark alive. Don't step on it. So I feel like this record, we managed to do that. I also feel like people are playing really well. And I think Mark's as a guitar player, he plays some of my favorite solos that I've heard him do. So that's been really, really fun to hear. And the arrangements, we really tried to push ourselves. There are definitely a few sonic journeys we take, longer songs. We weren't afraid to let a song go 6 or 7 minutes long and have fun with it, and because we find that our fans tend to like that. You know, some people are like all about 3-minute songs, you know, but I like a good 3-minute song as well, but you know, we're certainly not the Ramones. So we are going on these long journeys and just having fun with it, and you know, hopefully the fans will dig it. Oh, there's all sorts of crazy stuff. Like apparently there's like, I don't know if it's still up there, but for the longest time, like Wikipedia said that I played in a death metal band. Like I say this, I don't even remember who it was, and say that's not true. I've never played in a death metal band, or but with Wikipedia, I don't know who checks the facts, and it's just like the Wild West out there. You can just kind of put up whatever you want. Oh man, you asked my favorite question. Yeah, I love music, and in fact, when I got done, I just finished up a tour with Slash and the Conspirators, and I told Slash, I said, you know, the first thing I'm going to do when I get home is I'm going to go turn on my turntable. I'm going to put on Asia. I'm going to put on the Steely Dan record Asia, and just sit there. And sure enough, that's what I did. And I sat in my living room and just spun, you know, everything from Steely Dan to Earth, Wind and Fire. Listen to the new Carnival record. Actually, I didn't listen to that. I don't have that on vinyl, but most of the stuff I listen to on vinyl, I love vinyl. I love the whole ritual of taking the record out and putting it on the turntable. It's kind of a pain in the ass because then I have to get up and change, turn it over. But man, that's the way music should be listened to, right? Right? That's the way to do it. I listen to a lot of music and just try and relax, you know. For me, it's just about remembering the important things in life, you know, family and friends, and not losing yourself, getting so wrapped up in the business and an ego. I think you have to have a certain amount of self-confidence to do this, but you can't let it turn into the monstrous ego that can, just turn you into a complete lunatic. So it's really a matter of just finding that balance, I think I'm able to do that by, having a strong family and friends and support, and very lucky in that respect, and a halfway decent vinyl collection. What am I drinking? That's actually my. It's white tea. It's like a super healthy, like it's like green tea essentially. I just drink it nonstop. I probably drink way too much of it, but yeah, that's my vice. Got to have a vice somewhere, right? Huh. I've been a lot of really cool things. I've been really lucky. I mean, a few years ago, you know, was brought into the fold for a little while with the guys, in my opinion, who wrote the blueprint for all this, which is Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones, and got to play with Jason Bonham, and that's something that a week doesn't go by that I don't think about that and how amazing that was. Getting to play at Wembley with Alter Bridge a few years ago, that was amazing. I've been in a number of shows with Slash and the guys where, there's a show we did down in Argentina. We've done a few now, actually. Buenos Aires is quite the crowds are unbelievable, as they are all over South America. I think about that often. Yeah, music has provided some fantastic spiritual experiences for me, for sure. They really are. They really are passionate. It's funny because sometimes they sing so loud, they'll be louder than the PA. They'll be louder than the band. You can, and this the sheer force of all the people jumping up and down at the same time. I've heard stories actually, like there was, I don't know where it was down there. There was like a stadium gig, and it might have been like, I don't even remember what band it was, but people were jumping so hard that it actually cracked buildings around the circumference of the stadium, which seems hard to fathom. I don't know. I love blue. The sound of the needle hitting the vinyl and that kind of scratchy sound, just the beginning of a record. My favorite dish, I would have to say salmon sushi.